It's the first race of the 2019 Formula One season, and it's a familiar sight. Lewis Hamilton on pole position, Valtteri Bottas alongside, and the two Ferraris across rows 2 and 3. What could happen as Formula One returns for 2019? The teams finally make their way from Barcelona after pre-season testing and come to Australia. It's the first round of the 2019 season in Albert Park, Melbourne. But it's the first stop on this 21-round calendar for 2019. Our next race in Bahrain before the 1000th Grand Prix in China in 3 weeks' time. After that, it's Azerbaijan, Spain and Monaco, then off to Canada before France, Austria and the British Grand Prix in July. Then it's Germany and Hungary, the summer break, then it's Belgium, Italy, then Singapore, Russia, Japan, then Mexico, United States, Brazil and concluding in Abu Dhabi on December the 1st. Hello everybody and welcome to the Australian Grand Prix Sunday race preview. There is a lot to look forward to in the first race of the 2019 season. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what happened in qualifying, the first one of the season. Qualifying 1 saw the usual suspects disappear. Unfortunately, we saw the loss of Lance Stroll in the Racing Point Force India. He starts 16th on the grid. Now, he had a difficult qualifying. He locked up on his first run, didn't get the running order he needed, and then on his last lap, he went when everybody went a second quicker. So he got knocked out and put into 16th place on the grid. Pierre Gasly, the big surprise in qualifying 1, he was eliminated after being in the Red Bull for the first time, and he just lacked the pace. He went out in a big group of cars, got a lot of traffic and lost out overall. So that was a big loss for him. Carlos Sainz 18th for the McLaren. Similar situation, did qualify in the top 15 to get through to Q2, but again, so many cars above him were on the faster laps, on the faster tyres. The track temperature rocketed up, so the track got quicker and quicker, and Sainz lost out. George Russell, on his debut, we know that the Williams is poor, and unfortunately after limited pre-season testing, he only got 19th overall. And Robbie Kubica was 20th. He was 3 seconds off the pace in the qualifying 1, but that wasn't exactly his fault. Apparently, according to him, after he came into turn 9 at the exit, the car gripped and had too much power, and it launched him into the wall, causing a rear right puncture. Now, this is the second crash he's had this weekend where it's questionable about car control. He came into the pit lane in practice, hit the wall and caused damage to the floor. Now he's come out of turn 9 and hit the exit wall before turn 10 and 11. So you've just got to question, what is happening with Robbie Kubica as he gets used to driving a Formula 1 car again around Albert Park. He does start last on the grid, but he's got a lot more tyres to look forward to using, so expect him maybe to get up the field quite quickly, especially early on. Right, qualifying 2 then. Well, Nico Hülkenberg was the first one eliminated in the Renault, and he was originally through to qualifying 3, but Lando Norris went into Q3, knocked him out, as well as Sergio Perez went fastest on the last run. That knocked him out of qualifying. Daniel Ricciardo eliminated straight away. He couldn't get a time fast enough in that new Renault. He was 12th fastest overall. Alexander Albon 13th in the Toro Rosso. A superb job out qualifying his teammate Danny Kvyat as well. So Alexander Albon on his debut in that Red Bull Toro Rosso Honda doing a great job. As we already said, Antonio Giovinazzi in Alfa Romeo 14th on the grid as well. Not out qualified. Did not out-qualify Kimi Raikkonen, but still a strong effort for him. Clean session, but again, the track was quick at the end, just lost out on time overall. And Danny Kvyat, on his return to Formula 1, starts 15th on the grid, which is disappointing, but he was under investigation for blocking Sergio Perez as he came out in qualifying 1 of his pit lane because it was an unsafe pit stop release, but no charges were brought against him for that one. Right, let's move into the top 10 in qualifying 3. For the 6th year running, every year since 2014, and for the 8th time here in Melbourne, he now holds the record for most amount of pole positions at Albert Park, and he's equalled the record set by Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna for most poles at a single venue. Lewis Hamilton on pole position to start off his 2019 title challenge. Not a bad start whatsoever, considering that Mercedes thought that they were about a second off in pre-season testing compared to Ferrari. Surprising. It even surprised them how much pace they got. So I still think they were sandbagging on Friday and early Saturday FP3, because that time was absolutely fantastic. It was eventually 0.4 of a second, nearly a second quicker as I look at it. It's 0.8 of a second quicker than Sebastian Vettel, who is in 3rd place. But it is a Mercedes lockout on the front row, because Valtteri Bottas starts alongside him as well. So Mercedes dominating for the first time since 2014 with a complete lockout. Sebastian Vettel starts 3rd on the grid, the same place he started in 2018 and won the race, and 2017 and won the race. So logic dictates that maybe Vettel can have a hat-trick of wins here in Albert Park and win at the circuit for only the 4th time in his Formula 1 career. We will wait and see. Max Verstappen starts 4th on the grid as well in the Red Bull. Not a bad start for him overall. Qualifying could have been pole position, but locked up on his last run, had a poor second sector. That kicked him out. Charles Leclerc brilliantly starts 5th. He did top qualifying 1, but even he wasn't happy with his Q3 run. It felt the car was messy, the tyres weren't gripping, so it's put him in 5th place. So there's more to come from Charles Leclerc. Romain Grosjean in the Haas, 6th place. Strong performance for Rich Energy Haas F1, especially that his teammate Kevin Magnussen is just behind him in 7th on the grid. Lando Norris, the rookie for Great Britain, a dominating performance for him. Dominating in qualifying 1, dominating qualifying 2, and dominating qualifying 3 by putting it 8th on the grid as well. Stellar performance from the rookie, considering his teammate Carlos Sainz starts 18th on the grid. That's a good marker from Lando Norris. Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo starts 9th on the grid. Didn't have the tyres really necessary to do as many runs. He only did 1 in the end, like we saw him do sometimes last year in the Ferrari. So he definitely starts further down the grid. And Sergio Perez starts 10th. Just got into the cut-off zone as well in qualifying 2 by going 10th. Stayed 10th overall in that Racing Point Force India. So we've gone through each qualifying session. Nothing to report mainly, so let's take a look at how they line up on the grid then in full for the Australian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position for the 6th year running here in Albert Park. He's alongside his teammate Valtteri Bottas on row 1. Row 2 sees Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. Row 3, Charles Leclerc and Romain Grosjean. Row 4 sees Kevin Magnussen and Lando Norris. Row 5, Kimi Raikkonen and Sergio Perez. Row 6, Nico Hülkenberg alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Row 7, Alexander Albon and Antonio Giovinazzi. Row 8, Danny Kvyat and Lance Stroll. Row 9 sees Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz, and row 10 sees the 2 Rocket Williams Racing's George Russell 19th and Robert Kubica in 20th. So it is a mandatory pit stop race, and the mandatory tyres for this race are the hard compound tyres, which are the white banded stripes of the Pirellis, and that is the C2 version here, and the medium compound tyres, which is the yellow banded tyre, which is C3 for this race. Now, give you a quick pit stop strategy. I suspect this is going to be a one-stop strategy race, because every single driver on the grid has a brand new set of medium compound tyres waiting for them, and we know the mediums are quick enough to get to the end of the race. Everybody in the top 10 is starting on the red soft compound tyre. Now, only Gasly has got the most of these. He's got 4 of those tyres left. Ricciardo and Hülkenberg both have 1, as does Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Albon, Russell and Kubica. And it's 3 apiece for Sainz and Stroll going in on the soft compound tyres. Now, some drivers do have hard compounds. Brand new for Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Leclerc. an old set for Max Verstappen. He's as well as Gasly, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg have brand new sets. Grosjean and Magnussen don't. They've got a old set. So both the Haas cars unlikely to run a hard medium compound strategy race. So a one-stop onto the mediums looks likely. Sainz, Norris, Perez, Stroll, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi all have a new set of hard compounds. Kvyat and Albon have an old set, and Russell and Kubica have a new set as well. So if it's going to be a one-stop strategy, it's going to be the medium compound tyre. I'm saying is going to be the biggest bet. If there is a safety car early on in the race, maybe we will see some of the top teams or even some of the midfield teams putting on the hard compound tyre so they can go long into the race and they can get the best strategy out of it, considering that the mediums would degrade faster, so the hards would give them the durability to enter the race. But if it's a safety car free run, expect the mediums to be the tyre of choice and a one-stop strategy. But if there's a late safety car, everyone's going to be bolting on the soft compound tyres, whether they're old or not. So it's going to be a really interesting race. But prediction, one stop, medium compound tyre, which is the yellow, to the end. So that first stint is going to be crucial as well, and we won't know until the race tomorrow, as soon as they go out in the formation lab, what tyres 11 to 20 are on. But we do know that the top 10 starting on the red soft compound tyre. So we do know that they are going to have to do a one stop. Whether the people at the back do a two stop, that's a different question. But prediction, final time, one stop strategy onto the mediums, round about lap 17. So it's going to be a quick one, and it's going to be a great one. Lights out at 5:10, so just in a couple of hours time, and as well join us with a grand review on Wednesday in a new podcast format. That's all from us this weekend. Have a lovely race, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.